Alright, welcome back. We're working on Old Delicious, our 53 Chevy shop truck. And the next big hurdle on this project has been the mounting of all the accessories. We're talking air conditioning, power steering, alternator, and the issue with this project is that we didn't move the firewall back at all, so we have about half-inch clearance to the back of the motor, and that makes us real tight up front with the radiator and fan. So we have a half-inch clearance between the water pump pulley and the fan, and that's with a short water pump, which, as you may know, Chevy offered the long water pump mostly standard, and anytime they offered the short water pump they used V-belts and not serpentine belts. So those would have required a little more room to run V-belts on this. I wanted to run serpentine to keep that front clearance that I need. So there are, to my surprise, no bracket kits out there, at least no economical versions. There's some $1,500 or $2,000 kits that can get you there. So what I did is I picked up some bracket kits for the short water pump and V-belt style pulleys, and then I've just mounted my accessories using those, and then I've had to modify from there. So Allen Grove, the supplier for these, got me a set of brackets to at least start with for each of those components, each of those accessories. So on the alternator, that one went real smooth. It pretty much bolted up. I just had to do some adjustments from the distance of between the brackets and the block to get our serpentine belt lined up. And then on the power steering pump, I bought two bracket kits because I wasn't sure which one would work better. And these basically just rotate the water pump higher or lower in the spot where it is, where it's supposed to go. Actually, the stock power steering pump was so big as well, I decided to change that to a Type 2, much smaller power steering pump with a remote reservoir, which is not in there. You can't see that because it's not there yet. And I ended up finding those bracket kits would push that too far forward, so I'm pretty much direct mounted in one hole, and then I built a bracket coming from the back side. You can kind of see it there. I still need to cut that triangle off there to give it some more clearance, just for clearance sake. It's all working back here. There's two mounting holes there, and then one into the power steering pump. So that's how we're doing on those two. I started with the March Performance crank pulley and water pump pulley, and that's where I built from. Those ended up setting the distance, and I'm just matching these other accessories from that. On the air conditioning pump here, I had to do a little more modification. I've used a couple of the brackets, and I have a lot of spacers and washers. And I started with this bracket here. You can see where that would have gone. But I needed a spot for a tensioner. That's the way I'm routing my belt. I needed a tensioner right there. And also I added this pulley here to help get more engagement on the power steering pump. And so I ended up fabricating a new bracket based off of that one. And here's what I did first. I made a cardboard version and adjusted that, and then I made a little bit, this is like a stiff plastic that I had laying around, the right thickness, 1/4 inch thickness. Mocked that up and adjusted that, and then I built this one with a 1/4 inch plate, and I even adjusted that quite a bit after I got it together. On the back side, in order to give it some rotational stability on the bottom here, I built a Z bracket using some angle, and I just put them back to back, but with the feet flipped opposite each other. Welded that together. Got a hole into a mounting bolt here, and then also I added a hole here, but haven't put it through this plate yet. So we got good tension on our belt, and so I'm hopeful. I guess until we start the motor, we won't know for sure how well that works, but we'll see how she goes. So yeah, there you have it. There's the accessories. That was quite a hurdle, and we finally got to a point where we're feeling good about it, and we'll end up painting all those pulleys and brackets black, and then we'll get closer to our goal. So I'll be back with more updates later. Thank you.